Alright, what's going on everybody? Brendan back again for another video, and today we're going back to Calspeed for round 4 of the 2022 season. I missed the first 3 rounds due to various reasons, one of which was my car broke down for round 3, so I was planning on going to that and I couldn't, and then I had work-related conflicts for the other races. But yeah, so it's been a while since I've raced. I'm feeling quite rusty today. But the good news is that this circuit, round 4, is the same setup, the same layout as the very last time I went to Calspeed. It's Classico Counterclockwise, which I've grown very fond of, and I feel quite comfortable at. So hopefully the rust rubs right off after the first lap or 2. I have been practicing a lot on the sim, playing a lot of Karting recently, which we'll see if that helps or not. I don't know if it will, but I feel like it will. but yeah, so today's gonna be a fun day. Yeah.
All right, so here we are at the beginning of the main race, just jumping right into it. I qualified P15, which is exactly the position I qualified last time I raced at Classico Counterclockwise. As you can see, my tire kickstart there worked very well, got me ahead of the first 2 carts straight ahead of me, and now I'm right on the back of cart 36, and I'm able to squeeze right on the inside of the Contino carousel and get up 3 positions in the first 2 turns, essentially, first 3 turns. So yeah, the opening of this first lap is working out quite well for me. Now there's a collision on the hairpin caused by cart 31 to my right here, and that allowed me to get past 2 more carts. So I'm up 5 positions here in the first half of the first lap, and as we'll see as we're finishing out this first lap, that collision was caused by driver 31 right ahead of me here. So driver 31 is going to get a drive-through penalty that he will take eventually, and that means essentially I'm up 6 positions guaranteed. So yeah, at the end of the first lap, everything worked out perfectly for me there. I feel like I got everything just happened just right. So at this point in the race, I'm just thinking, try not to make any mistakes and try to capitalize and take advantage of everything going my way. The driver behind me there just tried to sneak up the inside of Contino Carousel as I did in the first lap. Wasn't quite able to make that work, so that's about the last time I'll see him throughout the race. And now my goal is I'm just trying to catch up to cart 31 here as fast as possible. I know he's going to have to take his drive-through penalty, and then the white helmet driver ahead of him, I think that's number 49, I'm just trying to catch up as fast as possible as I can to him. This is going a lot better than I expected, as I said, and yeah, so I'm just trying to take full advantage of this. I didn't expect it to be such a good race, but now that it's working out well, I just want to take full advantage of the opportunity that I have at hand. So here we go. This is the beginning of lap 3, and we're still trying to catch up to these 2 drivers ahead, and I'm feeling pretty confident through basically realizing I can take this corner here flat out and doing a lot better of a job of having more consistent hairpins, as that one right there. I kind of missed the apex a little bit, but it's typically fine to miss the apex there. You don't really lose too much time doing that to allow yourself to just keep a little bit more minimum speed through the corner. And this turn as well, I was doing much better throughout the day, as well as the turn coming up. And basically I was able to get past 31 just because he went wide there. And yeah, so I found that, you know, the trick to having a good race isn't necessarily having the best lap times, but it's about having consistent lap times. Just staying consistent, not making mistakes, will go a long way in terms of your race pace. And I tend to have pretty good racecraft, even though my outright pace isn't necessarily the best. So this is a perfect example of a great overtake on 49 here, just staying right on his bumper and getting on the inside, and then going around the outside of the hairpin. He kind of hangs in there with me for a little bit, but I was able to get by him there. So that was a really great overtake. And now we're smooth sailing. Now we have a lot of open road ahead of us, and everything has been going great for me so far. So I'm just trying to, again, not make many mistakes, and that will allow me to at least hang on to this position. So at this point of the race, I believe I'm in P8, having started in P15. So that is a 7 position increase, and this is if I can finish in this placing, this will be the best result that I've had so far out of all the races that I've done. So there's so much open road ahead of me. The top 7 drivers are miles ahead, and there's basically no chance at this point halfway through the race that I'm going to be able to catch up with them. So at this point in my head, I'm just thinking, don't make any mistakes, keep driving clean and consistent, and you could basically hold on to this position, and there's no way I'm going to get a higher position than this. So as long as I can hold on to this position, that will have been a really good race. So that's basically what I'm trying to do right now. And it's pretty crazy thinking about the similarities between this race and the last time I raced Classico Counterclockwise. It was almost exactly the same kind of a situation. Started P15. There was a big pile up on the hairpin first lap that allowed me to get past a couple cars. I had a few other good overtakes, and then I found myself in that race all the way up to P7. So even one position beyond where I'm at right now in this race. However, in that race, I just didn't have the consistency. I made just a few too many mistakes, and it allowed the 2 drivers behind me to pass me on the last lap, which was a real bummer, and I finished in P9, which was still my best placing up to that point. So now we are jumping ahead 2 laps later. I had a pretty boring 2 laps there, just trying to set as consistent a lap as I could. At this point, I'm just having flashbacks of that last race, and it feels so similar to that last race. I don't want to repeat the same mistakes I've made in the past. I want to keep improving, and this was the perfect moment for me to feel like I was improving directly on the mistakes that I was making last time, which is really cool to be put in the exact same kind of scenario and be able to kind of like relive history and see how would I have done things different, how would I have approached the race different, which corners am I too weak on. So I've been driving very defensively through these last 2 corners of the lap, and it allows the guy who's been right on my tail this whole time to somehow he manages to get around me there, but he just runs out of speed a little bit there. I guess he didn't have as much minimum speed as me through the final corner, and not quite as much confidence on the brakes into the S's. So I was able to maintain the position. At this point in the race, it was very, very tense because I knew he was right on my bumper, and he was trying to push me up the road a little bit, which was putting some pressure on me, and I was just opting to continue to stay as defensive as possible. So stay a little bit tight to the inside of this hairpin here, as well as through bypass and the final turn of the lap as well. And I just had decided that there's no way I'm catching up to the guys ahead, so I might as well drive defensively, especially on this corner here, very defensively through that corner, and basically not give the guy behind me any room to pass. You can see I look behind me and he's right on my bumper there, so I just decided I am not giving him any room to pass in this lap. I'm going to be driving slow, but the hope is strategically that I'm backing him up into the pack that was behind us, and hopefully they can start fighting with him a little bit and give me a little bit more breathing space. So we're on the final lap here. I'm able to squeeze past that back marker, and I'm just deciding, okay, my defense has worked this far, so I'm just going to keep driving exactly the way that I've been driving, try not to make any mistakes, and try to let him fight a little bit with the drivers behind us. And there's a fine line there, right? Because you don't want, you're basically allowing all the cars behind you to get closer to you, and so you have to be confident enough that you'll be able to pull away. And yeah, so that's kind of what my hope was, what my strategy was, going super defensive into this corner here, running a little bit wide, but that's okay. And here comes another back marker in the second to last turn, which probably helps me a little bit get away from the guy behind me. And at this point, I know I'm home free, and I just managed to defend the entire time. So lots of defense in the second half of that race. On camera, it doesn't look that spectacular because there's no one ahead of me. But yeah, overall, it was a really fun race, and I felt a little bit like the Minister of Defense there, Checo Perez himself. So yeah, I had a lot of fun. It was my best placing yet. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next one.